Hey, Amber, do you know what day it is today?
Oh, I think I know. Count to 3.
1,
2, 3. It's Project Skyfarm's first development anniversary.
Yay!
Hello everyone, I'm Ty, the main developer of Project Skyfarm, an anime-style farming RPG where you go on an adventure in the land below, discover fantastical plants, cultivate them, and develop a relationship with your companion, Ember. Boy, I can't believe it's been a full year since we started developing Project Skyfarm. Thank you all for your support along the way so far. We started our devlog half a year ago, but there were actually tons of project development before we went public. Today, I would like to do an overview on how we took the game from this to this, along with some development plans down the road for Project Skyfarm, all in 10 minutes. But before we start, I would like to remind everyone that we have a Discord channel, where we will post smaller and more frequent updates about the game. It will also potentially be the place that we release playtest build in the future. So if that interests you, the link will be in the description. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. At the beginning of every Unreal Engine project, there's the gray box world and its trusty companion, the Unreal Mannequin. Yeah, this is the start of Project Skyfarm. I didn't know how to create any functionality, but being a fan of documentation and planning, I started the journey by putting down all my ideas in design documents. This is extremely helpful to me since my short-term memory is close to being none. Having documentation allows me to go back to the material whenever I forget anything. Having level design as my background, I then created a block out of the island. So this way we have a stage to test our content and have an idea on how big the playable space is. The general idea is to have a couple plot of farming area on the main island, each of them having an advantage unique to them. Once the player gains access to all 3 areas, they can then work on connecting the separated island together. As the wise old man from Zelda said, "It's too dangerous to go alone." I know I can't tackle everything by myself, at least in a timely manner. So it's at this moment I started working with our other teammate, whom we will call R for now. He handles most of our concept art, some of the 3D art, and bounces games ideas with me. I'm so grateful for everything he's done for us. Next, as an exercise to learn how to import your own character into Unreal, we exported some of the characters from the software V-Raid, which you can use to generate some anime characters and put them into the game. Oh yes, definitely a lot better than the mannequin. After tons and tons of YouTube tutorials and deconstructing some plugins I purchased on the marketplace, I started to have a grasp on how to implement some of the basic farming sim functionalities. So in August, we switched our attention to getting the farming core loop into the game. Towards the end of the month, we got the basic farming functionality working, like tilling, planting seeds, watering, and the plant growth system. In September, our focus was around inventory and items. I spent a lot of time figuring out how UI works in Unreal. In Project Skyfarm, we want there to be multiple things that the players can improve for the crops through breeding, like quality, level, and titles. Because of this, there will be tons of variation of the same crop. And we don't want this to clog up the player's inventory. So we implemented the harvest basket system. It's basically an infinite inventory for crops that you can equip when you're on the Sky Island. When equipped, all of the crops will be automatically organized in tabs. And you can also batch sell everything in the basket at the drop-off box, which was also implemented along with some other money-related functionalities, like the cash system and the Amazon Express, which is the store in the game. Like ordering things online, when you order something from Amazon, you need to give Owls 2 days to deliver your goods. We're thinking maybe in the future you can get some kind of premium membership that will lower the delivery time. While these functionalities are getting implemented, R also started concepting Ember and the main character. We went through a couple passes from brainstorming, sketching, to color study. Towards the end of the month, we also implemented companion planting, which is a system that allows plants to have beneficial relationship with their neighbor if you plant the right plant next to each other. Each plant has an elemental type, and like the elemental system in a typical RPG, there are elements that are friendly and some are rival to each other. Some plants also have special traits that can benefit each other, like the beans being the natural fertilizer to the surrounding plants, and rosemary that will provide pest immunities. We understand that with the new level of complexity added to the game, we must provide players additional tools to strategize their plants. So in October, we implemented the plant vision. With this, they can visualize the companion planting results, shade preference, and the plant health. More modes will be added in the future. Additionally, since one of the main character's abilities is to be able to talk to plants, we added a plant information window where the player can talk to the plants and figure out additional information on them. Besides the visualization tools, we also got plant breeding system done, along with the quality and crop level system. I don't want to spoil too much for the game, but basically depending on how you raise your crops, you could raise or lower the quality and the level, which both affects the sale price. Also, if you fulfill a certain condition, hybrid and mutation may happen, which will unlock new challenges and recipes. Additionally, we also block out the interaction for other tools, along with the starting layout for the junks that the player has to clean up in the first farming area. In the last 2 months of the year, we basically spent tons of time learning and researching how to do character modeling in Blender. We weren't feeling it with the main character's overall design, so I also did a couple outfit exploration. In the end, we went with this one because the layer design will make it easier for us to make an upgrade version in the future. At the beginning of 2022, we revealed our project to all of you on YouTube and started sharing our progress on blocking out the adventuring portion of the game. For the level design, we went with the Monster Hunter-like layout with several encounter spaces connected by transitional paths. This allows us to separate gameplay heavy area from each other to allow better level streaming and performance optimization. We also added a new player backpack that will be automatically equipped when they go on an adventure, providing a lot of information on it, like how much time they have left until they collapse in the land below, lunchbox, and gadget display. In February, we implemented the basic functionality of the land below gameplay, which allows you to find the guiding light by interacting with the level and follow it to the exit. But what's fun in the adventuring without enemies to overcome? So in March, we focused on getting the first placeholder enemy into the game, and implemented some basic combat capabilities. We're only gonna have sword and shield for the demo, but we hope we can implement more weapons, special moves, and combos in the future. In the following month, we wrapped up the adventuring portion of the game by connecting it to the Sky Island through the expedition preparation sequence. Here, the player can select stages, lunchbox, and the gadget they want to bring on their adventure. Back to the Sky Island. We implemented the placement system that allows you to put down things on the farm, and also implemented the fantasy crops that are part of the vertical slice demo. Past this point, it was about improving the quality of the game. We redid the layout of the farm so it flows better, and we spent a decent amount of time researching and implementing the first version of our cell shading system. I won't cover too much of the detail here since we already talked about it in our previous devlogs. So if you're interested, please feel free to watch through our videos in the devlog playlist. Alright, so that about wraps up what we've done so far. But what's down the road for Project Skyfarm? Well, I can assure you things are only going to get more exciting from here. We will first be focusing on getting the last bit of functionality into the game, which is the player house and Ember interaction. Oh, by the way, we also finished modeling Ember and getting her into the game. We'll talk more detail on it in our future devlog. Once that's done, we'll move on to what excites me the most, tying everything together, and implement the gameplay progression for the demo, basically making the game playable and fun. If we can finish that, then we can start thinking about releasing a rough prototype to let you guys test the game. We have a lot of cool ideas we'd like to test to make sure we're bringing something new to the genre, but some idea may not be as cool as we hope. So we need your help to make sure that these ideas are strong for our vertical slice demo. When it's time, we will likely be releasing the builds on our Discord, so if you haven't yet, please join us through the link in the description to keep an eye out. On the other hand, we will likely be tweaking the devlog release schedule. Since we're moving on to the phase of generating art assets, sometimes the process is long and we may not have meaningful updates to share monthly. So instead of doing that, we will be sharing more frequent updates on our Twitter and Discord channel, and once we have a decent amount of work to share, we'll do a devlog. Before we wrap up, I would like to thank our fantastic voice actors, Josh and Marissa, for giving our main character and Ember their voice at the beginning of the video. They are absolutely talented and do so much amazing voiceover work that may appear in games or shows that you may already know. Please give them a follow on their Twitter. Lastly, thank you all so much for your patience, excitement, ideas, and support for this project. If possible, we'd love to ask you to continue supporting us in the future. Have a great day. Bye!